You know that feeling when you're just drowning in information, like trying to drink from a fire hose?
Oh, definitely. That's pretty much the daily grind for anyone in consumer packaged goods or life sciences, especially tracking global regulations.
Right. It's not just the sheer amount, but how complex it all is. You can really, tie teams up.
It's a constant battle. And honestly, in this kind of environment, having the right tech isn't just like a bonus. It's crucial, foundational really, for staying compliant and competitive. So today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty significant from RegASK. They're an AI-first regulatory tech company.
Okay. AI first, that's key here.
Exactly. We're going to unpack their latest big release, version 2025.03. We want to see how it's built to tackle those exact challenges we just mentioned.
Right. And we're not just going to list features bullet point style. The mission here is to get past the tech speak.
Yeah. We're pulling this from their official announcement, and the detailed release notes actually help streamline your work.
Make compliance less of a headache, hopefully.
That's the goal.
Okay, so where should we start? Let's kick things off with something called Enterprise Single Sign-On, SSO. Sounds a bit technical, maybe behind the scenes.
It might sound that way, but think of it more like the main entrance, secure, smooth entrance.
Okay.
Especially for bigger teams, maybe working across different platforms, different countries even. RegASK has integrated with the big identity providers, Okta, Azure AD, OneLogin.
The ones many large companies already use for everything else.
Exactly. So your teams can just use their normal company login to get into RegASK. Seamless.
Ah, okay. So immediate win. Fewer passwords. We all hate juggling passwords.
We really do. But it's bigger than just convenience, though that's nice too.
What's the bigger picture then?
Well, think about your IT department. This makes managing users way simpler. Getting new people set up or removing access when someone leaves, much faster. Less
admin overhead.
And importantly, it seriously boosts your security. It supports all the standard protocols, SAML, OAuth 2.0, OpenID Connect. We're talking enterprise-grade security baked right in.
Gotcha. So a central login is just inherently safer than tons of separate passwords floating around. Makes sense.
Yeah, fewer weak points. And for those global teams you mentioned, or companies with lots of different software tools.
This smooth access probably means fewer help desk calls, less time fighting the system.
Precisely. Less friction. People can actually focus on the regulatory work, the analysis, the strategy, not just trying to log in. It smooths out that foundational step.
Okay, solid foundation secure, easy access. Got it.
Now let's get into something that really screams AI first, like you said. This BYOC feature, bring your own content.
Yeah, BYOC. And it's amplified by their AI, which they call RegASK.
Bring your own content. Yeah. This sounds like it could unlock data that's usually just stuck inside a company.
That's exactly the idea. It's powerful stuff. Basically, it lets the client admins upload their own internal stuff.
Like what kind of stuff? Think internal research reports, maybe safety assessments, proprietary data, even just links to niche industry sites only you track. Upload it right into RegASK.
Okay, so you feed your own knowledge into the system.
Yeah.
And then RegASK gets involved.
Exactly. The AI engine, RegASK, jumps in. It analyzes all that custom content you uploaded.
And does what with it?
It turns it into actionable regulatory alerts. Just like the alerts RegASK generates from public sources, but these are based on your information.
Whoa, okay. So let's say you're a CPG company and you've got loads of internal data on a specific ingredient.
Right.
You upload that. Now RegASK, using its AI, can watch for external regulatory changes that might suddenly impact your internal findings on that ingredient.
You got it. It connects your internal world to the external regulatory world. Your internal knowledge becomes part of your active monitoring system. It's applying that AI smarts to your unique data.
That feels like a big step beyond just monitoring public websites. You're leveraging your own expertise.
And it's flexible too. Yeah. It handles actual documents you upload or just URLs you want it to watch. So a really wide range of content. And think about the workflow potential. An alert triggered from your own content could automatically pick off a task, notify the right people, streamlines the whole response.
It really turns passive internal documents into active intelligence feeds.
Very cool. Okay, so we have better access and we have AI looking at our own stuff. What about the alerts themselves, making them work better?
Yeah, the release notes talk about several improvements there. Alert IDs, better filters, and sharing alerts right within the platform.
Let's start with alert IDs. Seems simple, like a label.
It is simple, but sometimes the simplest things make a big difference in day-to-day work, especially in regulatory affairs where organization is king.
True.
So every single alert, whether it's from RegASK or from your BYOC content, now gets a unique ID. It's easy to read your company code plus a random string.
Like a tracking number for each regulatory signal. Why is that so helpful?
Think about collaborating. Or, heaven forbid, an audit.
Yeah, audits.
Instead of saying that alert about labeling in Germany from last month, you just give the ID. Boom, everyone's looking at the exact same thing instantly.
Reduces confusion, saves time digging around.
Totally. And because it's consistent for all alerts, BYOC included, it creates one unified system. Plus, you can just search by the ID to find anything super fast.
That traceability is huge for compliance records. Okay, IDs make sense. Now, filters. You mentioned enhanced filters.
Yes, big improvements here, especially for folks on certain plans. You can now filter alerts much more granularly.
How so?
2 key areas: by specific ingredients and by individual U.S. state. You find these under service coverage or more filters.
Ingredient filtering. Okay, that's huge for CPG and life sciences. Pinpointing alerts hitting just one specific material in a complex product.
Massive time saver, right? Instead of wading through everything, you zoom right in on what matters for that formulation.
And the U.S. state filtering, also critical. Regulations vary so much state by state. Exactly. It acknowledges that reality. You can focus your attention geographically, so more targeted decisions, less noise.
It sounds like it helps push the most relevant info to the right teams faster.
That's the idea. Oh, and they also added an alert creation date filter. Simple, but helps you sort by what's newest, prioritize better.
Good. Okay, so better targeting. And then you mentioned sharing alerts inside the platform.
Yeah, another workflow improvement. There's now an option to share alerts directly within RegASK.
So instead of copying links, pasting into email, maybe taking screenshots.
Exactly. None of that. Just a couple of clicks, generate a secure link.
Secure link meaning only other people in my company with the RegASK access can see it.
Precisely. It keeps the whole conversation, the context right there within the RegASK environment. Much faster for getting review, approvals, deciding on actions.
Keeps everything together, less chance of things getting lost in email chains. I like that. Boosts collaboration.
Definitely.
Okay, one last small but mighty feature mentioned. Editable comments.
Yes. Small change, big impact on just keeping things clean.
How so?
You can now edit comments you've made. Across the board in alerts, discussions, tasks, documents, subtasks, everywhere.
Oh, thank goodness. No more posting a correction comment right after you spot a typo in the first one.
Exactly. Or if you need to quickly update something or clarify a point, you just edit the original comment. It keeps the conversation thread tidier, more accurate, easier to follow.
Yeah, it keeps the flow going without unnecessary clutter. Better clarity.
It's about making that communication agile and ensuring everyone's seeing the latest correct info right there.
Okay, so let's pull back and look at the whole picture. We've got the easier, secure login with SSO. We've got the AI, RegASK, analyzing your own internal content via BYOC. Then we have smarter alerts with IDs, much better filtering, and in-platform sharing. Plus, cleaner communication with editable comments.
Great.
When you put all that together, what's the big takeaway? What's the bottom line value here for those CPG and life science companies listening?
I think if you connect those dots, you see a platform really doubling down on giving these businesses more control, more agility, more actual intelligence to deal with this crazy, complex regulatory world.
Moving beyond just collecting data.
Yeah, moving beyond just monitoring. This release tackles the big pain points, the sheer manual effort, the slowness in making decisions, the need for solid business continuity when rules change constantly. It's about getting proactive.
Using that AI-first approach, not just as a buzzword, but to deliver real, actionable intelligence.
That's what it looks like. So whether you're trying to expand globally or just make your current team way more efficient, or simply stay ahead of the curve.
These features seem designed to provide concrete tools for that.
Tools for operating with, more confidence and clarity in a tough environment.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive into RegASK's version 2025.03. It definitely seems like more than just a minor update. Significant steps forward in security, that really interesting AI application to internal data, and some smart workflow improvements.
Absolutely, especially targeted at the needs of consumer packaged goods and life sciences.
Which brings us to our final thought, something for you listening to maybe mull over.
With these kinds of AI capabilities becoming available not just for external data, but now potentially for your own internal knowledge, How might that change things?
How could you maybe reimagine your team's whole approach? How could you proactively manage that regulatory churn and maybe unlock completely new insights from the valuable data you already have sitting inside your organization?
Yeah, think about your specific challenges. How could features like BYOC amplified by AI give you a totally new angle on tackling them? Something to consider.